afternoon and welcome to the July monthly meeting of the Pitt County Department of Social Services Board. I would like to call the meeting to order. I would also note for the record that Dr. Sheila Bunch is on vacation this week and had let us know that she would not be in attendance. And we hope that Mary Perkins Williams will arrive shortly. At this time, then, I would just call for a moment of silent prayer or silent meditation. Amen. According to our clerk, there is no one signed up for public comment. And the first order of business is the selection of the board chair and the vice chair.
I nominate, can I nominate?
Sure.
I nominate Melanie Bryan to be chair.
Thank you.
And I'll second that.
Okay.
Gotta.
Well, and then let's just do it all as one fell swoop, and I will nominate Jim Cox to continue as the vice chair.
I second.
And since there are just the three of us, all those in favor, now that everything has been moved and seconded, and Jim and I will keep our respective roles.
And for the record, I was left out because I'm not going to be on the board.
That's right. We would let you,
So,
because later in the meeting we will talk about board appointments. So all those in favor of the motions to retain the current chair and vice chair, let it be known by saying aye.
aye.
Does that work for you, Susan? Okay.
Good job.
All right, now that I guess I'm the chair, I can then say, are there any changes to today's agenda that you are aware of?
None that I have.
Okay, so do we have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
I so move.
And I'll second. We're gonna do a lot of that.
All those in favor of the motion to adopt the agenda as published, let it be known by saying aye.
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 In your agenda package, you had the minutes from our June meeting. If there are no changes needed, it's in order to adopt them as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of adopting the minutes as presented in the agenda package, say aye. Okay, thank you. Now we have items for report. Agency recognition, Jan Elliott.
We have several folks that we want to recognize today, groups that have been doing some really wonderful things for us. So I'm going to come down front and call them up and make
Okay.
you aware of what's going on. The first group we want to recognize today is our group of folks who have been helping out by picking up trash. They've been doing the clean sweep kinds of things along the River Road area. So I want to ask Ann Weaver and the company of trash picker-uppers to come forward because y'all have been doing a fabulous job.
And Miss Jan has been out there several times herself.
Yeah, I make it about every other time. You know, and I need to recognize that Ann is the driving force for this. This was Ann's idea. She has nurtured this. I mean, she's really pushed this and helped us all to stay engaged. And this is just some of the group that has been doing this for the last 2 years, I believe. And so I really want to thank Ann and everybody who's been helping. Let me read the certificate of appreciation that was received. It says 2018 Certificate of Appreciation, Pitt County Department of Social Services for commitment to preserving the environment of North Carolina by participating in the Litter Sweep Spring Cleanup Campaign. So I am pleased to present this to this group. And I want to again thank y'all so much because I have to go get, you know, a leave. I have to go get a little leave after every pickup. So it's not easy work because we do about, 2 miles? So, and sometimes the group is not that large. So I'm just really impressed with what everybody's doing. Thank you so much. And
Question, what spurred you all to start doing this? Other than Ann twisting your arm.
leave.
Litter? Litter in Pitt County, I commuted 26 miles every day, and just looking at the sides of the road were just incredibly trashy looking to me, and I thought I wanted to do something, and I knew about Adopt a Highway, and it is very difficult getting some people to participate, but I did want to mention Nancy Hewer, who can't be here right now. She's been there every time, and she'll probably take over when I depart, but I just wanted, I'm a nature lover, and I want the earth to be as beautiful as it can be.
And we selected an area near the agency to pick up the trash. I mean, there were plenty of opportunities in Pitt County, but we did select a place near the agency, and I know.
So is there like a road sign that says
it
street
does.
cleaned up by?
One of them's not down, but the other one's still up.
I have asked that it be reestablished.
I've asked too, but I don't think they've done it yet. But Miss
No,
Mary
they
has
have
a-
not.
I realize you have an organization down on that road too, and you've got some young men down there picking up trash too, so you're making our job a little bit easier. We appreciate that.
That's great. That's wonderful.
I think the residents has also bought into the idea, and they have been good about changing things out there too.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Mhm.
It looks a lot better.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
thank all of you very
Positive
much. Thank
change.
all. And this is how they use their Saturdays, so, you know.
And
Yeah.
you get folks from other departments
Well, we take
who
volunteers.
happen to be related to folks
Right,
in the church.
right. And
I love
sometimes-
that volunteering of your mom. That's good.
That's right. And sometimes we get teenage children of the folk here at the agency to help us do this. So it's an agency-wide event, and relatives are always included.
And my kids said that was when I voluntold them to do that.
That's right. The other recognition today, I want to call Shantae Carson forward. Most of you know Shantae from the Links program. Shantae was recently recognized in the Every Teen Counts, and this was a recognition by Shift. And it reads, in recognition of Pitt County DSS for your passion and commitment in making Every Teen Counts a success. And Shantae, as you know, is a big leader of the Links program here in that she has made it what it is, and was out with the children, the children today, the youth today. They were jumping and around, and Shantae was not jumping. So they had a good event this morning. Good event this morning. So on behalf of the agency, I want to share this again. Shantae was recognized at a state conference for her work, and Pitt County was recognized. So I want to congratulate her. And she can give you a little bit of update on what's going on with the teen pregnancy prevention program that we've been working with. So I will turn it over to Shantae. You can go to the mic if you want to, or hold this.
While she's doing it, isn't this the first time
So
that
far,
they've done it?
as you all know, this is a 5-year program, so we are going into the 4th year, starting July 1st. So we have had 4 cycles after all of the training. We've had four actual classes with some of the youth. Right now we have 52 youth that have participated in some point in a course. 46 of those 52 actually participate in 75% of the sessions because it is a 10-module curriculum. And within that, we've realized that there is a huge need for the program. Every time we do a class, the youth are given a pre-test and a post-test, so we do get some information from them about some of the things that they have been involved in and what they're doing, and then we have some test questions to kind of see if they're learning during the class. So with our pre-test, we learned that 64% of the youth that were in the class have already had sex, and 30% of those have had sex in the last month. So we did find that we were correct in that they do need the information and to be learning this material. So after all 4 groups, all of the participants increased their sexual and reproductive health knowledge. They are able to write some comments at the end on the post-test, so I was just going to read a couple of the comments about what the youth said they liked about the group. Some of the youth said that I was able to learn information that I didn't know. Everyone was like family. We had lots of activities and learned a lot. I met new people, and we almost always have the same problems. I felt like I didn't have to hide, were some of the comments. And then when they were asked what they learned, some of the participants wrote, we learned to make proud choices, which is good, that even if you love someone, you should protect yourself, the types of STDs, what methods to use and what methods to not use when you're trying to prevent STDs or pregnancy. I learned what a healthy relationship is. And then one of the youth wrote, I learned that you get arrested if you send nude photos. So we are very happy with some of the things that they learned and they figured out. So overall, the classes are going really well. We've been trying to do at least one in the fall and one in the spring, and we may be picking that up depending on how many additional helpers we can get to help facilitate some of the courses. So that's kind of what we've been doing.
Thank you.
And Shantae, your seniors, or I guess your graduates now,
Yes.
were most impressive.
Absolutely.
When they came to the board meeting.
I'm actually really excited to say that I actually now have 3 that are going into the military between this month and next month. So I'm really excited about that. We're getting them ready to go.
Wonderful.
Congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Elder Abuse Awareness Month, Cynthia Ross.
Yeah, let's do the video.
We've got a video to show you that Mike, public.
Elder abuse is a widespread issue. Every year, an estimated more than 10 older Americans are victims of abuse, neglect, or exploitation. And that's only part of the picture.
I never thought I'd ever have to face elder abuse. I was shocked, in disbelief, and saddened that this could be happening to my husband. I told our primary physician what was going on, and he in turn called Adult Protective Services. And what a blessing that was.
Yeah, I was very lucky, and it happens right under your nose when you least expect. We need you to be vigilant, watch out for your family, your friends, your neighbors, and if you suspect something, call the proper persons, let somebody know.
It does happen. It's kind of like a movie. You think it's going to happen to someone else until it happens to you, but it really does. DSS can and does and will help you, and there are a lot of other community partners that will help you as well.
Very nice.
Okay.
The flowers was beautiful.
They are
Beautiful.
Sorry. So, just to kind of give you an overview, you got some information. We presented the event. We didn't think that Mother Nature was going to agree with us that morning. A humongous storm came by, but it parted during that time. Despite that, we had about 50 people present for our first event. It started out very small. Me and the social work supervisory staff got together and said, what can we do for elder abuse? Had a lot of support from Public Information Office to help, and it got really huge. The response that we've gotten from the event, the 3 speakers that you saw, the gentleman, he shared a story of what happened with his mother and how it could happen to him and how they were unaware. The female that you saw in there that said a survivor, she talked about, as a senior, how that felt going through and the support that she got, and spoke of encouragement to reach out and get help. And then the clerk of court spoke. She sees it on the judicial side and involved in guardianship cases and individuals that have been through Adult Protective Services. So there were 3 kind of different perspectives. Each had a unique story to share. Each were very positive on the outlook. The participants who came, we invited law enforcement, all the bodies of law enforcement, churches, senior agencies, facilities. We got started, late like anything. You put aside a little bit of time and you don't realize how much. So hopefully people have asked, are we going to do it again? We've gotten a lot of requests to be a part of the event, and we'd like it to continue to grow. It was a beautiful event, a moment of just reflection on people's personal experiences, commitment moving forward. It was exciting to be a part of. and we'll have some community partners, more involvement with them. We asked for each of them buy-in. Each of the entities had the opportunity to have a representative on the stage. Well, because of the weather, we all ended up on the stage real close together. But it was exciting to see the organizations be a part of it. So we're looking forward to doing that again next year and growing it and larger and helping Pitt County as a whole understand what it's about. So we're excited. We hope for it to be an annual event. It's in July when a lot of people are on vacation. But it was sweet. It was a good opportunity for the citizens to begin to be aware. A lot of positive comments about each of them were involved in social services in their own way, and a lot positive to say about what can be done and the help that's out there. So we're excited about people's commitment.
You had media exposure too, didn't you?
We did. Daily Reflector, Winterville, and Farmville paper all put some stuff. There was a lot of interest in the topic. So it's hard. It's very hard to take time out of our days. We never have enough time. But it's exciting when you take that time, make that investment in the communities, at a point where they responded and said, yes, we would like to be a part of it. So
Super.
We hope to grow it and look forward to, broadening each people's part and participation in it.
And you had lots of support from sponsors, like the folks who helped with the flowers and those kinds of things. So we certainly want to thank them.
It was
for
overwhelming. We thought we were going to get, one flower and have to, okay, well, let's have, not the community people, let's have, if there's an individual, we thought we were going to have, and it was like whole bunches. It was amazing the support we had from local florists, as well as, we thought we were going to just round up some leftovers, and there were florists that gave us, here, take. Water was donated, chairs, it's been good, and people who want to be a part of it next year and donate. So we look forward to the opportunity to grow.
It's a whole lot easier to plan next year.
Yeah, right, yeah. And you drummed up some business as a result. I understand you got lots of phone calls with reports.
We did. I went on vacation shortly after, and I understand there was a lot of reports that came in that week. But that's good because, we're always going to get reports from the hospital. We're always going to get reports from home health. But there's people in the community that are afraid. When you have a gentleman stand up and say, it happened to me. He's the former CEO of Greenville Utilities. He said, it happened to me. We called social services. We got help. That's an important message for people to know. There's a lot of, stigma around calling social services. There's a lot of people's negative beliefs about, the work that can be done. So it was an important message. Because there are people out there that things are happening to that we don't know about, and that's what we're here to do. So it was good to get that message out.
That's a good message.
Great. Thank you for working so hard on it. And
yeah, thank you.
I'm glad that the weather broke just at the right time.
It was very, very special. I would not have believed it, and it cooled it off. Unfortunately, elder abuse is going to be in June every year, so it's always going to be hot, but it was a great venue. It was beautiful, beautiful.
It was, the video was really good, so thank you.
It was live streamed, so you probably can watch the whole event if you'd like, because I expect it's on YouTube somewhere.
Energy plan update, Brian Avery.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The energy plan is an annual plan for the Crisis Intervention Program and the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. The Crisis Program operates on a fiscal year, July 1 through June 30th, until funds have been exhausted. This Crisis Intervention Program is for heating or cooling emergencies when individual source of heating or cooling is going to be interrupted because of the bill not being paid. The Low Income Energy Assistance Program is an annual one-time assistance program that operates December 1st through March 31st or until funds are exhausted. The plan indicates our potential community partners for 2018-2019 with the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. We will follow up with the partners closer to the time the program will operate and get confirmations and get the memorandums of understanding signed at that point in time, and we always have the potential to add additional community partners each year, and over the years we have added some on. We will be operating the Low-Income Energy Assistance Program at the Human Services Center at 203 Government Circle. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. We do need board approval so this can be submitted to the Department of Health and Human Services.
Move approval.
I have one question, and I'm not even sure that they're related. Was it last meeting that we heard that no longer something would be covered?
Right.
Yes,
The
that's the
crisis
crisis.
intervention program, right, is only going to cover the electric bill. They're not going to cover the water, they're not going to cover the sewer, they're not going to cover the garbage, any of those things again.
Bill.
Yeah,
They used to
yeah,
pay
yeah,
the full amount.
yeah.
They're now just going to pay
The electric.
component.
That's what the rules are. And that's a big change.
Okay.
Big change in that it will reduce the typical amount of a payment
It
that
will
people, or
right.
benefit people received. But what it does is stretches your bill.
That's correct.
Your funding further.
It stretches the funding further. The problem is for our clients is that we're going to expect them to have paid their part before we pay our part. So for them, it's going to create some difficulty up front until they learn that.
And this has nothing to do with stretching that to include any residual funds to cover any part of the electric or?
Well, this, because we won't be paying that full bill like
Yeah.
we have been, it'll probably give us additional dollars to use to pay other people's electric bills. That we usually
Okay.
run out about March.
So
This would allow us to pay longer.
Okay.
But it
It
can't
would
be
not-
carried over.
It would not help the part that is not going to be included.
No.
No, because people just have to pay their water, sewer,
Right.
and
I'm just thinking about when they
drainage or whatever it is that the
can or
city
don't.
bills for.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Stormwater.
And Michelle is there to add any additional information that might be needed.
No, I don't have any additional information to add to that. Just stepped up in case there were additional questions that I could assist with.
We have been doing a lot of outreach with folks to help them know that this change is there. We've had signage. The Public Information Office has helped us. Notices have gone to the utility companies. I'm trying to think of all the different places, but y'all have done a lot of outreach to try and get that.
How much of a problem do you foresee?
Well, I think the Public Information Office has done a great job in assisting us in getting that change to the public. So while we anticipated that we would receive a lot of calls or additional office visits with inquiries regarding the change, we really have not.
Good. Wonderful.
So.
Perfect. So, Mary, you were making a motion to adopt the
Brian?
plan. Do we have a second from Jim? All those in favor, so that Brian can forward it on to the state, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Good. Thank you, guys. And while on the one hand, the next item means that
You know what?
Becky's road may be getting shorter, we actually have some applications to review.
I want to say that to the residents, it would help if you treat most of your small appliances as you do your iron. Unplug it. It will cut down on your utilities bill, and it would expand and help us to assist others. The money will go farther. So unplug your small appliances. You're not going to use them 24 hours a day. So unplug them as you do your iron. Plug it in when you need it and unplug it when you don't.
Perfect.
It works.
Conservation. So the next item, though, is the board appointment. This is for a replacement for Becky's seat, whose 2 terms are up, right?
Right.
And Becky's seat is a decision by the board, so it does not have to go anywhere else to be confirmed further. So we have a number of applicants. Are we
These look like
at
the
a
same.
point where we have discussion, et cetera?
Which one you gonna do? Oh, okay.
I think we have several viable candidates. And I think Jan has reached out and talked and made sure that they were interested and.
Just make sure they're gonna come to the meetings.
Right. So.
You have a recommendation, Madam Director?
This is your decision, folks. I'm not stepping into this other than giving you a brief summary of what I learned from the folks as we talked to them.
Good.
All 3 appear to be very viable candidates. Each brings something different to the board, I think. Some have broader experience than others based on their various employment opportunities and what they've done in the community. And again, you have a brief summary and a resume from each of those applicants. And really, this is y'all's decision. It's
One
not-
question.
Mhm.
They all live in Pitt County?
They all live in Pitt County.
That's important.
Right, they all live in Pitt County. One of the ladies works outside of Pitt County, but lives in Pitt County. The folks I've talked to have all committed to coming to the meetings and have indicated they would be willing to participate in other activities as the board needed. So we did have that kind of conversation so that they at least have a brief understanding of what time we met, how often we met, the other kinds of the retreat, those kinds of things.
Having read what you sent out earlier and then what I've read since being here at the meeting with the last applicant, I think experience and exposure to community resources is very important to bring to this board. And based on that, I have a recommendation. I don't know if we're to the point that it would be appropriate to say names, or I'll do it.
It's up to you.
I am familiar with the family of Catherine Buse, and I know that they are very community-minded. They have been active within our community in various and sundry ways, and her resume looks fabulous. And based on this, I would recommend Catherine Buse, and I see she has married Nelson. So Catherine Buse Nelson would be my recommendation.
And I certainly would second that. I know Catherine. I've had the opportunity to work with Catherine. I think professionally I've known her for probably 15 years. And, currently she's a senior administrator at Bident, and she oversees a number of the community health programs that kind of parallel a lot of things that we do here in terms of things. So I think it would be a good match, and I will second that motion.
Mary,
All I gotta do is vote.
are you okay with that?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, because I've known Catherine for 50 years, because I was in first grade and she was in second grade, together in a combined classroom a long, long time ago. And like you said, the family's always been very active. Her father was a county commissioner.
Yep.
Her husband's a longtime school administrator.
This
and
Kenneth Due's daughter?
Yes.
Kenneth
Yeah.
Senior. Yeah, Kenneth Junior is her brother. So it's been moved, it's been seconded. Mary and I don't have any problem with it, so all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. And we'll ask Jan to give her a call.
Aye.
Aye.
I say my aye.
Thank you.
She'll start next month.
And you will come next month,
You will come
right?
next month, that's right.
Yeah.
So we can
With
officially,
certain stipulations that,
No, you just go.
that we can transfer
that it
over
will
the power.
simply be, I mean, I'm serious, well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get what you want.
Well, sometimes you don't show up either.
Some of us know where you live. We'll send the sheriff.
Now that would be
Can
good.
you do that?
Might come in handcuffed.
That'd be an interesting going away.
So the next item on the agenda is the director's report.
Okay, and this is going to be pretty brief today. As you see, you have the agency personnel report. We currently have 16 vacancies. Only one of the positions is frozen. We have 5 that have been filled since our last meeting. We will begin recruiting shortly for the new positions. We had to get everything approved through Raleigh, et cetera. So those should be showing up here shortly. We have, as you see, a lot of folks in the screening process, in the interviewing process, so we are continuing to move the applications as fast as we can. Don't know if anybody's got a question. Services area continues to be the area that has the biggest turnover, and as everyone, and it's the hardest to fill because the competition for social workers is significant, and child welfare and adult services kinds of things are difficult jobs, and so folks, it's tough to recruit sometimes. So if nobody's got any questions on that. The other thing, Medicaid application processing, we did get the March waiver approved, so we are at this point with no months of not meeting the application processing standards. Because of the holiday, we do not have the June report yet, so I will send that to you via email once we get it, and you'll have it for the next meeting, but I'll go ahead and send it to you. The other thing that I wanted to just mention, and I put a copy of a document at your place that kind of has lots of colors on it. And this is an example of the kind of information that will be used when we start getting our mandated performance requirements reports. Child Support has had this kind of report for a period of time. This is as of June 30. And so if we were actually doing the performance measures today and using the MOU, we would be looking at those performance measures at the top, which is for incentives. So that's the performance measure to be looking at, not the self-assessment. I will point out, since Michelle is here, that as you see on self-assessment, we met 100% of the activities we were supposed to meet. So we did well there. We did well under the incentives, but we did not meet 2 of the 5 incentive areas, and those are the areas that we're being measured against. So if you were looking at the MOU, it says the county will achieve its given annual percentage of paternities established for children born out of wedlock. We exceeded our goal by 1.94%. The county will achieve its given annual percentage of child support cases that are under order. We exceeded our goal by 0.54%. The county will achieve its annual percentage of current child support paid. We missed that by 0.22%. So that's how easy, how close you can come and still miss it. The county will achieve its given annual percentage of cases that receive a payment towards arrears. We missed that goal by 0.65%. The county will meet its annual goal of child support collections. We actually exceeded that goal by $234,677. So the agency worked really hard. The agency staff did a really good job. But it gives you an idea of kind of how this might flow, and you've got all the 27 performance indicators once they're available for you. And the other issue to point out is in child support, for example, the agents are certainly key players in this, as is the agency attorney a key player. But you've also got the Sheriff's Department providing service, and Michelle tells me we have a really good Sheriff's Department who provides excellent service for us. We contract with them to provide that service. You have the court system. Again, we have a good court system. We get a fair number of days, but you still have to have enough days in court. We get quick turnaround from the clerk's office, but all of that court process is involved. And then clearly the fifth party to this is the parents. And so there are 5 parties that have some impact on how well we do, and we really only control 2 of them. internally. So, again, I thought this would be good for you to see, and again, I had promised you that as we start getting these kinds of reports, I'll start sharing these kinds of reports with you, because you don't want surprises when we get official with this come January. And again, for this particular one, the top 5 are the ones you're looking at. So, questions for anybody? From anybody?
Just keep up, keeping up.
Jan, can I ask a question, Madam Chairman? So, Jan, do you expect this performance to, if you were to look into the future, continue with this level? Or is that
Well, you know, historically, since I've been here, and I'm sure way back before I came here, our child support unit has done a really good job. Yeah. And historically, I think you've only missed generally one. The one that we miss the most is the one that seems to be the biggest problem, correct? Which is the annual percentage of cases that receive a payment towards arrears, and that one has been a bugaboo, I think, most every year.
Right. Our greatest challenge is the 2 that we did not meet, and again, they were by less than a 1% point that we were short of meeting that goal. We are aware, and we continuously strategize on new things or new efforts or review various reports in terms of trying to get ahead of and be anticipatory of what we need to do to meet our goals. In fact, I was just sharing with Ms. Elliott earlier that our intention was to scrutinize closely on our collection on arrears quarterly in terms of identifying specific cases. But as it relates to our overall collections, we have steadily increased that over the years, such that the amount that we collected this year, that being almost $15.5 million, is the most child support that Pitt County has ever collected. So while we steadily increase our overall collections, we are keenly aware of all of the incentive goals and work hard to try to meet all of them.
You do a good job, wonderful job.
So in answer to your question, I suspect we will continue to see at least one here and there not meet. And again, you're looking at every single month, so you might. And I know in child support, early in the year you can have very different figures than you can have at the end of the year, just because of the way the things run. So the answer is yes, the potential is to continue to see some of this same.
And then as an example, a collection, your overall collection rate, we could meet it in January, or we could meet it July through January. But if we don't meet it as of June 30th, then we don't meet it for the fiscal year.
So 12 months on average?
Theoretically, they are, but if we don't meet it on June 30th, then we don't meet it for the year.
Yeah. and
That's
you know,
unlike
yeah. And another example of an issue for, you know, when we had the snow, that impacted their court days. And so that was a month that you didn't meet several of these because it impacted your court days.
Right. And there were 2 courts that we had canceled due to weather. And when you have something like that, we get the court date made, a makeup date for the court date. But on occasion, the courts may be reluctant to issue the order for arrest just out of concern for were they adequately notified of that second court date. So.
As you, each month, you will be bringing forward.
Right, as we get
trying
these,
to keep us ahead of the curve.
Right. So, those are the basic reports. I do want to point out that our upcoming events, National Child Support Month is August, and Michelle will be doing some things there with she and her staff. August the 10th, the Board Association is having their meeting in Burlington from 10 until 2. Amy Wall is going to be there to talk about the, I'm having a senior moment, talking about phase 2 of the regionalization. And what she's trying to do is to get the executive board of the Board Members Association's input and thoughts on collaboration and on regionalization. The Social Services Institute dates have been announced, and they're October 17 through 19. And the Board Association meets then, and there is training for new board members. So that's my report. Unless anybody has any questions about anything I've sent out.
And so you will reach out to our new member and see about that date on her calendar as well?
Right.
And do we have, I know we had talked about trying to always make those, the August 10th meeting. Do we know if we've got anybody that?
I'm planning on going. It's on my calendar. We missed it last time. It was kind of
They
a
moved
mix-up.
it around on him, and so.
So, is that
That's
it for you?
everything.
Okay, then the next item on the agenda is board member comments. Any comments from the board?
No comment. Good to see all of you back.
Nice to see you.
That being said, our next meeting is August the 14th in this room. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
And I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.